Hi, I'm Dan Fazia, Managing Editor of GI Jobs magazine. Joining me today is Kathleen Carroll, a former Marine Corps officer, who now serves as a military relations manager for Amazon. In November, GI Jobs ranked Amazon the #1 military-friendly employer for 2012. Kathleen, thanks for joining us today.
It's great to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
So what's it like working at Amazon?
It's a lot of fun. It's an extremely fast-paced company and all the different business units across the board. Definitely stretched on a daily basis, but definitely a great culture that likes to work hard, play hard. So definitely really proud to work here and having a lot of fun.
Right. Tell me a little bit about Amazon's commitment to hiring military veterans.
Well, our program is rapidly growing. We're expanding all of our veteran hiring initiatives across the country, around the world, but particularly we put a lot of transitioning and former military leaders into our fulfillment network, our operations pipeline, into roles like area manager, operations manager, places like that. So it's really fun to be a part of building this program and seeing all the success across the board in terms of when people actually come on board and are really able to create a new professional chapter here and do well and continue to drive the growth of the company.
What do veterans bring to Amazon's mission to be the world's most customer-centric company?
Well, commander's intent translates well to customer obsession, which is really important to Amazon. And I think, ultimately veterans have the ability to innovate, adapt, and overcome, and at the end of the day, get the job done. So the mission focus and the leadership skills are really valued here at Amazon.
And what kinds of jobs does Amazon recruit military veterans for?
I'd say, we have thousands of open positions right now at Amazon, but I think probably one of the featured positions that we look to hire military leaders into is into our operations pipeline, but typically as area managers. So that front line, lead from the front, standing desk, jump into the fire, and really have an opportunity to lead, hourly associates, so ranging from, 20, 30, 50, 250, depending on the time of the season. But I think that if I could pick one position that I'd like to highlight, it's the opportunity to start out as an area manager.
Right. Kathleen, in your opinion, do military job seekers have an advantage over their civilian peers, assuming all else is equal?
We at Amazon are building a really diverse workforce, so we find leaders from lots of different places, specifically in the military. Some of those competencies that I highlighted before, that that high energy commitment to mission accomplishment, really translates well to customer obsession and customer focus. Some of the leadership our leadership qualities so bias for action, things like that really translate well, I think, and are, part of also military culture as well. So that, veterans really are able to thrive in a busy, challenging environment, and I think Amazon offers that, and that's where, so I wouldn't say advantage, I'd say, more just it complements the culture here. But we definitely value veterans, but I think that, again, the company's really committed to building a diverse workforce, and of course find a lot of that diversity and a lot of that success with folks from a military background.
Right. Do you see any disadvantages that they face?
Well, not necessarily disadvantages. Myself as a... Well, I think it's hard to transition from the military. And me personally, as a, just as a recently transitioned veteran myself, but now in sort of a different role, helping build the military program, I see, on a daily basis some of the challenges that everyone faces when they transition out. I mean, translating your military experience into civilian terminology is not necessarily intuitive, and so I think, a solution to that challenge is really trying to seek out people that can help you along the way, finding a mentor, finding, like, for example, at Amazon, our military talent team, we're all former veterans, finding someone that can kind of coach and help bridge that gap and understand, what you've done in the military, but then also kind of channel it so where you'll be successful in that transition into, say, a company like Amazon or a corporate opportunity. I wouldn't say disadvantage. I just think that, it takes a lot of work to do that translation, to practice, learn how to interview, because it's not necessarily intuitive.
So what are some of the most common mistakes that you see on veterans' resumes?
Well, I think that there's one of the trends I see is, people just list their former job descriptions instead of really highlighting some of the metrics and some of the accomplishments in terms of when they were driving solutions or built a program, for example, how they went about it, what were some of the critical components, vice just kind of regurgitating, their billet description. So I think that that's an opportunity, to really, I'd like to see more of that. This is what I did, this is how I did it, and this is why it was successful. And so the opportunity is to build in, to put some metrics in there that really demonstrate and highlight those successes. Instead of reading like a job description, I think it's really important to say, why you did it, how you did it, or what you did, not necessarily, just what you were supposed to do on the front end, but actually on the back end as to what you did specifically. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. What common mistakes do veterans make during job interviews? One of the trends that I see is people, have that kind of that war face on and get super serious, and maybe go and can be a little too focused, and sometimes that can translate to not being warm, approachable, and sort of possessing that. You want to really highlight that you have positive energy and not necessarily just that really really intense focus. I think veterans, you need across the board, it's an opportunity to really break down that perception of being, aggressive, and just simple ways to sort of combat that is to smile, to have fun, to ask questions, and not necessarily, really posture into that, fighting position. So, lighten up a little bit, have fun, and just really approach it from, more of a lighter perspective maybe. How long before they separate or retire should service members begin applying for civilian jobs?
I think before you even start applying, no matter like where you are in your timeline, one of the best things that you can do to even just canvas what sort of opportunities are out there, and is just to start building your network. So I think before you even necessarily start applying, I think there's platforms like LinkedIn and job fairs, and you don't need to necessarily be getting out or even looking for a job, but just building your network and finding different people to connect with that might have recently gone through a transition, and just really kind of canvassing not only what jobs are out there, but the people that are out there that are ultimately going to want to help you. So I talk to people that are not even eligible, getting out of the service for years, and I'm still happy to connect with them and kind of, more as sort of an informational interview. So I think, you can approach it, from just sort of an information fact-finding, mission to when you're really getting serious, anywhere from 6 to 12 months out, I think, and then a step further when you're getting ready to really neck down to those final stages of interviews, 3 to 6 months out is But I think that there's always an opportunity to network, and I think, the more networking, the more people you're connected to, the more information that you have. I mean, that's really empowering, and it gives you an opportunity to know, maybe you never thought about sales, or maybe you never even thought about supply chain logistics or becoming a teacher, but going on sort of that informational fact-finding, mission and really connecting and building a network is a great way to kind of see what's out there. So, and I don't think it's ever too early or too late to do that.
Right. Well, Kathleen, it wasn't that long ago that you yourself were searching for a civilian job in a very tough economy. What's your best piece of advice for transitioning service members?
Well, I think I just would go back to building that network. I think that the number, so many of the people that we hire into Amazon and are through sort of social networking, so LinkedIn and really kind of connecting with people that not only, not necessarily going to give you a job, but are just going to say, hey, I was in your shoes a couple years ago. This is how I went about it. This is what I learned along the way. This is which I wish I would have known this, or didn't even think to ask this, or having that opportunity to practice interviewing, how to translate your skills. So do the preparatory work, and it's not easy. And so the more work and the more time that I think you can dedicate on the front end, the more fun you'll have, and the more positive of an experience it will be to actually, one, transitioning out, but two, finding a place where you can, find an equal level of happiness and professional satisfaction that you might have had in the military. From my perspective, I just had that really, I was pretty disciplined about it, pretty aggressive about, connecting with people, and set some, short but also long-term goals, and really did, it was a full-time job. I mean, if you were to go down into my basement, and see sort of all the different contacts and all the different questions, I did a lot of preparation for the interviews. I studied behavioral-based interview questions, more technical-based interview questions. I just really put a lot of heart and soul into transitioning, and so I think, that would be, just from my learning experience, I think the more homework and the more preparatory work that you can do, and then the more that you can build your network, the better off you're going to be on lots of different levels.
If a service member is interested in working for Amazon, what's the best way to proceed?
Well, we have our website, which is, on Amazon.com/military. You can look around for opportunities and take the time to kind of dig around at some of the highlighted opportunities. But, you just reach out to our military talent team. The thing that, I'm proud of is that there are people on the other end of it that, really go the extra mile to try and help, connect and really navigate opportunities that, are available at Amazon. So really just jump online, get on our website, send us an email, reach out to us, connect with us on LinkedIn. We're available and really excited to be building this program for a company as great as Amazon. And so certainly, we'd love to help as many veterans explore opportunities here. So just reach out to us.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for joining us today. Very much appreciate your time.
Thanks, Dan. This was great. Again, it's been such a fun place to work, and when I was getting out of the Marine Corps, I was very sensitive to finding a company that I would fill my bucket as much as the Marine Corps did. And I think that from my perspective, I've just had so much fun. The place is filled with super smart, high energy people, and definitely feel that a similar sense of pride. Different, obviously, from the military, but a similar sense of professional pride. So it's a great place to explore and to come work at. So thanks for the opportunity for me to be able to talk about it with you.
Okay. Well, you have a great day.
Thanks, Dan.